Good morning and welcome to Berthon. Today we're looking at AZURED, which is a 2008 built, so 2009 model year, Fairline Targa 38. She's lying in the water with us here in Lymington, and we're going to take a look around her decks first and then just talk you through her interior. So starting off at the stern, we've got a large bathing platform with a locker inside lined in teak with courtesy lights. Walking up the side decks, which are laid to teak and then have just easy non-slip to the rest of her coach roof. Large foredeck here, great sunbathing area, and this boat does have the optional sunbathing cushions coming with it. We've got a self-launching and stowing anchor right up at the forward end. Looking back through the windscreen, you can see there's plenty of ventilation both into her forward cabin and a section spray hood, which can be left as a bimini or taken off to give open air driving. Just navigation lights, GPS antenna and TV aerial up here. Nav lights port and starboard, and then just having a look onto that bathing platform again, and we'll pop into her main cockpit. So the boat is equipped with a buttercream upholstery, very hard wearing in the cockpit, teak lined floor with the engines underneath her. This particular boat is running on a pair of Volvo Penta D4 engines. They're rated at 260 horsepower apiece. The boat was fully serviced out of the water late in 2017, so she's fully prepared for the 2018 season. She's had coolers off, inspected, replaced where necessary, which is critical on these D4 engines. And also the Berthon Boat Company looked after just some adjustment on her trim rams and seals. So a large forward-facing driver's seat, co-pilot's area here with a handy little locker, anti-glare dashboard, and the main helm is over on the starboard side. This boat's fitted with a Raymarine C70 multifunction colour plotter. Also has a small Raymarine bidata giving you speed and depth. Nice sports steering wheel, and this boat is in her second ownership, always been owned and cared for in the UK. She's fitted with a bow thruster as well for aiding manoeuvrability, especially in berthing situations, and she's running at 118 hours on the clocks at the moment, so quite spare and light usage. Looking down into the main saloon, we've got a large 4-person sofa over to the port side. Lots of light coming in from overhead and through these large slit windows on either side of the hull. There's an extending teak table here, so you can use this either as a coffee or as a dining table. It'll also pop up and down to adjust for height. Plenty of eye-level lockers. And the galley is just conveniently placed over to the starboard side. So we've got a gas cooker, 2-burner hob, a nice little SMEV oven here. Black Corian work surfaces all the way around, and again plenty of light from this window. 2 stainless steel sinks set into the Corian worktop with covers on them. And then the main fridge is over here, just set against the aft bulkhead. As you can see, we're just maintaining this boat on shore supply with a dehumidifier running just to take the moisture out of the air, and a heater, one in her engine room and one down in the main cabin. Main battery isolators here are just 2-pole switches. So this is your 12 volt and your 240 volt panel. And again, looking back, you can see that the boat is trimmed in satin varnish oak with cream carpets. And Fairline have put a lot of effort into getting as much storage space into these boats, which are aimed generally at the family cruising market. So underneath the cabin sole here, we've got a large bin and access further aft into the main bilge. And as you could see underneath the steps of the companionway, there's a handy little hidey hole for hoovers, etc., and for extra bits for your galley. So looking forward, we've got a separate double master cabin, high set central double berth, just a storage drawer underneath, Outlets for the Eberspacher, which is a D4L system on this boat with a 7-day timer, so you can set the heating to suit, and that's running off the main diesel tanks, so it can be used offshore without any shore power. Overhead deck hatch, providing light and ventilation, 2 opening port lights, port and starboard. And over on the starboard side we go aft, and there is a ensuite head with a roundel shower. This can also be accessed from the forward end of the main saloon, so it's both ensuite to the forward cabin and also can be used as a day head from the saloon. Nice ceramic sink, hot and cold water throughout, taps, general bathroom fittings and plenty of storage behind those mirrored cabinets and a handy dressing mirror. As you can see, lots of decent quality, good chrome fittings, very positive locking mechanisms on them. Got a small screen TV that looks over so that you can watch the TV from the sofa, and that's the access into the forward heads compartment from the saloon. So we've also got another pair of berths in the aft cabin, access through this door. Large sideboard over to the port side, again a couple of opening port lights for ventilation. 4 good storage drawers, all boat papers and service manuals are located here. There's a mirrored front locker with hanging space. And then we've got 2 berths here which can be slid together using a scissor mechanism to make into a large double. And these are the forward sunbathing pads. Again, you couldn't quite see there, but there's a large opening port light if you want to get some light through, and reading lights set at the head of the bed. It's a really nice trimmed cabin. The leather is hardly worn, and the interior presentation of this boat is very, very near to perfect. We'll just pop back and have a look into the cockpit again. Again, you can see plenty of locker space up here. There's a couple of lockers underneath the main helm. There's a wet bar here, and over to the starboard side, just by the engine hatch, there's a dedicated liferaft locker. If we remove this aft seat squab, put it up, we can use the powered lift for the engine bay hatch, which is here. It's just on a hydraulic. As you can see, it's a good, quick, fast acting mechanism. And over on the port side, you can't quite see it, but there's a fold-out table which neatly locates into the superstructure moulding, so it can be moved out of the way if you don't need the table space. Looking into the engine bay here, as said, 2 twin D4 260 horsepower Volvo Pentas. Fully serviced late 2017 for the 2018 service season. Automatic fire extinguisher here. Clear view upgrade filters. And the end caps on the coolers have been exchanged on these for the new ceramic tops. Water heating via that calorifier over in the port quarter. Plenty of insulation into the top of this, so the boat is very, very quiet when running underway. So easy access to the Volvos. And the boat cruises around about the mid-20s, 25, 26 knots, and will top out a little over 30 knots. We'll just have another look around the cockpit at the helm, and this is where you'll be spending most of your time. Thank you very much, and this boat is available at Berthon now.